Hello, my name is Christian Mari and this is my second video sharing my recent thoughts. Today I'm shooting in St. John's Fremantle. It's Monday. I've just finished my watch here and I've got the place to myself and I've been reflecting, so I'm beginning. Recently I was asked to write an article for an organization which help people, senior citizens, get to grips with AI. And so I thought I'd share some of my thoughts on AI and technology, and as often the case with me, if you get to know me, mythical beasts. So this will be an opportunity for you to get to know me and the way that I think about the world, which I'm increasingly aware it's not very obvious how I think about the world. So it's probably a good idea that I spend some time sharing where I'm coming from. So I give professional training to people, and when I start the training, something that I do is I show them a picture of a siren, that beast that would sing to sailors and lure them overboard where they drown in a watery grave. And I show the class a picture of the siren, and then I click a little button, and then that siren is suddenly framed in an iPhone. And I say, that's your iPhone, that's your mobile phone. The mobile phone is the siren of the 21st century. It will sing to you from across the table, it will call to you from your pocket, and you're drowned in its glassy screen. I see that all of the time in the work that I'm doing here. Just today there was a couple of parents. They came in with their son, and he was a little bit antsy after being shown around. And she said to me, sorry, he's got to get back to his device. And jokingly I said, it's pronounced vice. And this look came over her eyes, like she had just realized that her son's brain is caught in a vice by this device, caught by the siren, drowning in the screen. I see people come to the threshold here. It's a beautiful threshold of this church. And they stand in the doorway and they look in through their mobile phone. Oftentimes they'll turn away from there as if they're going to burst into flames, but sometimes they'll come in, and it's impossible not to be impressed by this place, so long as you're seeing it with your eyes. But if you're not, if you're viewing it through your phone, if you're taking photos through your phone and you're striking poses of yourself praying to put on your socials later using your phone, you will not be impressed. You won't be impressed. There will be this kind of force field around you. So another way that I've been thinking about this, I've given you the siren analogy. Here's another analogy. You might be familiar with the story of Medusa, the Gorgon. So Medusa was an absolutely beautiful priestess, who unfortunately was assaulted and abused by a bunch of men who couldn't cast away their fascination with her good looks. And so, in a strange turn of events, and I won't go into the details, Athena turns Medusa into this horrible beast, so that forevermore, if a man even dares to look at her, he'll be turned to stone. So it's kind of like a punishment of the gaze, if you want to put it that way. I watch people come in here, and I see them looking at their phone, and it's almost like they've become petrified. It's almost like their phone is also Medusa. They look at it, and I say that deliberately. I don't think they're looking through it at the candles, through it at their windows. I think they're looking at it, and the phone just happens to be displaying the candles and the windows, but they're not really seeing the candles and the windows. They're seeing their phone, and thus they're not looking through their phone. They're looking at their phone, just as one would look at the snake-headed Medusa, right? They're attracted to it, but it's petrifying, and it turns their hearts to stone in such a way that now they cannot be impressed by the beautiful windows, and they cannot be impressed by the beautiful candles and beautiful flower arrangements which volunteers make here regularly. So now I've got two analogies for mythical beasts relating to the mobile phone. There is the siren, it will sing to you, you'll drown in its screen. And there is the Gorgon, Medusa. You'll look at it, and your heart will be turned to stone, and you won't be able to be impressed anymore. It's strange. So I am going to connect this to AI, what I've been thinking about with AI. So since we're in a place that's dedicated to religion, mythology, and God and gods, there is a god which is depicted in poetry, and of the Bible and whatnot called Moloch. You don't need to know much about Moloch, but the idea is Moloch is a god that demands child sacrifice. And so people will sacrifice the youth for Moloch. And I've always described as it's the god of rational inevitability. So when one person is inventing something absolutely dreadful, and they rationalize it by saying, but if I don't do it, somebody else will, and so better I do it than some kind of villain out there, that is the reasoning of Moloch. That's the rational inevitability that makes bad things happen, because better one person do bad things than a bad person do bad things. You see how it's all very tricky. Can you see how this is happening with AI? The people behind AI recognize that what they're doing is dreadful. There's something really, really dreadful about it. Even though it's exciting, it's dreadful. But better they do it than the Chinese or the Russians or this, that, and the other. Yeah. Same thing with the people who work on their smartphones, invent smartphones. They won't allow their children to use smartphones because they recognize the damage, extremely well-documented damage now, that it's doing to people's brains. It's putting their brains in vices, it's petrifying their hearts, it's luring them overboard and drowning them, depleting their attention span and making it so that their future and the past doesn't exist and there's only the brain-dead present of the screen. The people doing this, they know that they're sacrificing children. They know that they're sacrificing children for the purpose of profit and technological development. I don't think they think of it that way. They don't think about it in terms of collateral damage, but nonetheless, dare not let their own children use the things, right? Okay, so here we get to AI. Increasingly, I've been hearing people say something which really, really frustrates me. It's an indication to me that we're not even ready to start thinking clearly about AI. And what that phrase is AI is just a tool. AI is just a tool, and so it's neither good or bad. It's a tool, and so it depends on how you use it. When somebody says this, I just think they don't get it. I think they are either willfully being ignorant or they're just not up to the task of teaching people about AI. And it's scary because for people teaching this kind of stuff, they will actually say AI is just a tool. Now, if something can make you addicted, right? Can you get addicted to a hammer? Can a power drill be deliberately designed to steal the labor and the work of other people? Yeah? Can any other tool, can a wrench make somebody sacrifice their future in order to just distract themselves from the present? Right? This technology is designed in such a way that it works on the human mind and the human spirit and on society in a way which the analogy of a tool cannot describe. It just cannot describe it. And we know this. We are aware of this. We are aware that AI is going to, and I'm using this as an extension of technology, is going to trap people. It's going to steal from people. It will addict them and put their heads and their hearts in vices, such that they will lose the ability to be as human as people have been in the past, these people that we outrageously admire, right? There will be a dwindling that will take place, that the analogy of a tool itself cannot explain. So yeah, once again, I'm approaching the 10-minute mark. I just wanted to share these ways that I've been thinking about this stuff. I mean, sure, it is exciting. Of course, it's always exciting. But beware of Moloch, yeah? Beware of Moloch, beware of sirens, beware of gorgons. Beware of anybody that's going to tell you that this stuff is just a tool. They're not paying attention. They're not paying attention. All right, so I've got 40 seconds left. Here's how I'm going to complete this. Recently, a friend of mine asked me what my politics are. I get asked this a lot, and nobody ever likes my answer. So I'll elaborate on this in the future. The best way to describe me, how I think about society, is through Lumenian social systems theory. I did my PhD on the German social theorist Niklas Luhmann. For him, we are always mistaken when we think the unit of analysis for understanding politics and understanding the world is people. Okay? So when people say, if we could all just get along, if we could all just educate one another, if we could change our behaviors, then the world will be a better place and politics will be a better place. I do not believe this is a fair or appropriate analysis for life in modernity or late modernity. Rather, you have Thomas Hobbes back in the day who described something he called the Leviathan, another big beast. The Leviathan is everybody gives up their own ability to commit violence and to steal and whatnot to an external authority, the king or the Leviathan, and we can call that the state. The state can commit violence on you, and the trade is that other people won't be able to do it. So violence is monopolized by the state. We can call this the Leviathan. The world we are living in now, the Leviathan, even though it's supposed to be the biggest and the baddest of the beasties, is an inadequate analogy. Better analogy is a hydra. Okay, there are so many social systems. It is all so complex that the idea that we somehow have our hand on the steering wheel of history is woefully inaccurate. This is why the United Nations aren't able to do things. This is why world leaders aren't able to respond to existential threats, right? Because there is no single Leviathan in a world system. So the unit of analysis cannot be individual behaviors. You're going to have a reaction to that because we're sold the idea of agency so much. I understand that. You don't need to reply in the comments here. I'm just doing this to share my thoughts, but I'll elaborate on this in the future. So if you'd like to know more about my politics and my sociology and my mythology and so on and so forth, the starting place is a dead German named Niklas Luhmann. He's very difficult to read indeed. So if you do try, you're courageous and well done.